Hi, I'm James Gregg, also known as Dusty Gregg. I'm the owner of Gregg Guitars. Handcraft these beauties right here in this shop here in Fort Worth, Texas. Gregg Guitars started from my love for music. When I was a kid, my dad was a professional musician. He was also a woodworker, so I kind of grew up with a guitar in one hand and a chisel in the other hand. So that started my passion for guitars. And middle school and wood shop was when I made my first guitar body from the tools that they had available. It was actually a maple body blank. Built the first one there and kind of grew into what we have today. So some of the styles of guitars I build, acoustics, I'll have like OM shape, J45 shape, dreadnought, and jumbos. And then electric style, I'll do a lot of T-style. A bunch of my artists are country musicians, so it's kind of what got me started. I have a line called the 317, which is a custom shape that I've designed. A bunch of different pickup configurations. I also do like a Les Paul style body shape, and then I'll do several different bass shapes as well. Before Laguna tools, the process for building a guitar was basically, I had like the cheapest joiner and planer that I could get. And I would try to get boards as true as possible, but it didn't work so well. Glue them together, and then I had a bandsaw from another manufacturer that was less than accurate. So I'd basically glue up the body blanks, trim them out on the bandsaw, and I'd flush trim them on a router table with a template, which is really sketchy. Every once in a while, the bit would grab and pull your hands towards it, so it was pretty scary, but that was a process. And then after flush trimming, you'd have to sand the edges a lot on a little oscillating spindle sander that wasn't very good. So that's kind of how it started out before I was able to evolve into having some nice tools. Actually, the first Laguna tool that I got was the Supermax sander. Then the next thing was the Swift, the CNC. And it changed the game a lot. I kind of limped by with some of my other classic tools before I was able to upgrade to those, but I got them as quick as I could. So the process of how I build an instrument for somebody is kind of analyzing what they do, and it's from my knowledge of, I've been playing since I was about 6 years old, so I have a long background in instruments, went to college for performing arts, and so that knowing how an instrument should play and feel and sound and what applications certain things like pickups and hardware work best in kind of helps me to steer people in the right direction when I go to build an instrument for them. So with a guitar like this, basically I would start off with a body blank. I would mill it down on the joiner, the planer, and then the thickness sander to get it to the right thickness. Then we take it over to the CNC machine. It starts off on the back side. It'll cut out all of the string holes and ferrules, the neck screw holes. Then we use index pins to flip it. It basically does everything from the neck pocket back. So neck pocket, pickup cavities, control cavity. And then at that point, you can do the round over with the machine or binding. Then from there, I'll make the neck blank. It's basically just 4 inches wide by around an inch thick. Mill it down for the truss rod channels. And then I have a different vacuum fixture that I'll put the fretboard on. First step there is usually I'll cut like the nut slot and the profile out, use it to cut the radius in the fretboard. Then I'll do inlays and fret slots, and then do one more radius tool path to clean everything up. And then it's ready for some final sanding and hand finishing. And from there to the paint booth. Some aspects of this machine that I really enjoy are, I kind of touched on it earlier, but the oiling system. So you have this one handle down here that you just pump, and it oils all of the spots that need lubrication to run smooth. The rack and pinion setup is really nice, so it just runs smooth and consistent, and the stability of it, like I don't have to worry about it vibrating off. If I'm doing a long cut, it doesn't eventually kind of vibrate itself to where it's not homed anymore. It'll come right back to its origin every time. So it's just been a really consistent machine for me. So some of the cool guitars I've made on here, one was a 317, which is my own custom body shape, semi-hollow. It was for Brad Paisley, which is one of my guitar heroes. And having this machine's capability of cutting like cool F-holes and then inlaying them with different materials, did custom paisley shapes all up and down the fretboard out of mother of pearl. A lot of that wouldn't have been possible without this machine. Trying to cut all that by hand would have taken forever and definitely not looked as crisp and clean as it came out. So that was a pretty neat thing.
Yeah, so having the CNC, sometimes people attribute that to, oh, there's a robot doing your work for you, and that's just not the case. At first, I was a little hesitant because you think like, hey, handcrafted guitars means you got to cut out every piece with a chisel and a Japanese handsaw. But as I've learned how to program and use it and utilize it more, it's just an extension of my hands. Like, you're designing it on a computer, so it's just a tool basically to get you to the same place, but with more accuracy and consistency. Like, all the inlays on this guitar are done with the CNC, as well as cutting the rosette out in the top and even machining bridges, but it doesn't get you 100% of the way there. You still have to put a lot of handwork into it. You have to fit and finish it by hand and give it the soul that it still has. So essentially, it's no different than using any other power tools. You may not be guiding them, but you had to draw it and be smart enough to tool path it to get the results that you needed. But it's definitely increased my creativity because there's not barriers or boundaries. If you're doing it by hand, like doing super intricate inlays, it can be done, but it's not going to be perfect. And I mean, you can spend days and days doing those inlays, whereas now I draw it up and kind of I try to do unique things, not repeat things too many times, but you can kind of keep a library and keep expanding on what you're doing, make changes to them, and end up with some really unique and beautiful things.